Welcome, everyone. I'm Tony Lydon with JLL. I'm happy to chair the NAIOP Arizona's Public Policy Committee. And I'm here with our fearless leader, Suzanne Kinney, who's CEO of NAIOP Arizona, to talk about our legislative session that recently concluded.
It's good to be here with you, Tony. This certainly was a unique legislative session, so I'm excited to share what we accomplished on behalf of NAIOP members.
It sure was, Suzanne, maybe one for the ages. Let's start with what made the session so unique.
For starters, in the 18 or so years that I've been working at the Arizona State Legislature, this was the first session that I was unable to meet with legislators in person. Due to the COVID policies in place at the legislature, all of our meetings had to take place over Zoom. Plus, this session began on the heels of the most divisive national election in recent history. This had implications for the tone at the state capitol and for the issues that rose to the top, such as the 2020 election audit and proposals to reform the election system moving forward. And finally, Republicans maintained one-seat majorities in both the House and the Senate, so they had to develop legislation and a state budget that their entire caucus agreed with or be willing to negotiate with the Democrats.
Sounds like NAIOP had a few big wins despite all these challenges. Can you tell us about NAIOP's priorities within the state budget?
Absolutely. We focused on two areas. The first was our long-term priority of reducing commercial property taxes to make our market more competitive. We commissioned Rounds Consulting Group to conduct a study, and that helped to convey the importance of this tax policy change. We then worked with a coalition that included the Arizona Tax Research Association, the National Federation of Independent Businesses, and several others to encourage lawmakers to include property tax reform in the budget. Thanks to the efforts of Senator Mesnard, Representative Toma, and several others, the final budget included a 2% reduction in the commercial property tax assessment ratio, taking it from 18% now down to 16% over a 2-year period. Income tax was the other budget issue that directly impacts NAIOP members. Proposition 208, which passed in the election last November, raised Arizona's top marginal income tax to one of the highest in the country. Governor Ducey identified this as a critical problem to economic development and business attraction. Fortunately, the final budget included income tax reductions for all Arizonans. Importantly, it included a provision to effectively keep that top marginal rate at 4.5% by having the state offset the difference caused by the Prop 208 surcharge. In addition, Senator Mesnard passed a bill that created an entirely new optional small business income tax structure. Businesses such as LLCs and pass-throughs can opt into this new system, which starts at 3.5% in 2021, gradually lowering to 2.5% by 2025.
Wow, what a trifecta of accomplishments. Aside from the budget, what other issues did the NAIOP team work on this session?
We worked with Senator Vince Leach on a COVID liability bill to protect employers and landlords from frivolous lawsuits. A broad coalition of business groups and chambers of commerce came together to support this legislation, which will go a long way in getting Arizona businesses reopened and getting people back to work.
What should we look for moving forward?
The 2022 election will be here before we know it. At NAIOP, we will focus on common sense reforms to restore the citizen initiative process to its original intent by reducing the influence of out-of-state special interests that are using Arizona as a testing ground for radical ideas. This year, two modest approaches, both supported by NAIOP, did manage to get through the process. Representative Kavanaugh's referral to limit citizen initiatives to a single subject and Senator Leach's referral that would allow the legislature to amend an initiative that passed, but was then found by the Arizona Supreme Court to contain illegal or unconstitutional language, both made it to the finish line and will appear on the 2022 ballot. Finally, I'd like to give a special thanks to our lobbying team at Veritas, especially Jeff Sandquist and John Featherston, who continue to do a phenomenal job representing the interests of NAIOP members.
Well, that's a wrap. Thanks for joining us for the special program on NAIOP's public policy advocacy. Have a nice day.